And we're on air. The Stay Blessed podcast from Dare to Do Motivation, podcast number 7. As I do not edit, maybe you know I don't edit these audio recordings because they're recorded in one take. So don't worry if you hear some noises, or if you hear my phone ringing, or if I mispronounce things. It's all part of the show. So I hope you're with me wherever you are, listening in your car, listening over your earphones at home, whether you're lying in bed trying to go to sleep, or whatever you're doing. Welcome to this podcast, episode number 7. Make yourself comfortable, feel at home, and if you're driving the car, make sure you stay concentrated on the road and just enjoy this little conversation that I'm having with you or with myself. As I have mentioned oftentimes already, I will have some conversations, audio conversations with the people in English where we will talk about every subject there is in the world, everything, from spiritual things to politics to sports to whatever keeps us happy, whatever interests us, we will cover it. And you can do me a huge favor if you write in the comments where you are from, what your occupation is, why you enjoy listening to the Stay Blessed podcast, because this will really help me to see who my audience is and what you want to talk about. And if you have any subjects that you would like me to cover, then just write it in the comments and we'll see what we can do with our Dare to Do Motivation team. So yeah, by the time I'm recording this, it is January 24th, 2022. So this year is already progressing fast. We're already 3 weeks plus into the new year. So yeah, how has your year been? How has the beginning of the year been? I mean, I live in Austria, and where I live, the vaccination mandate has been scheduled from February the 1st, so everybody in the country above 18 years of age has to get a vaccination, and this mandate is running until the end of the year 2024. So basically, whenever the government sees it fit for us to get a new vaccination, could be every 3 months, could be every 6 months, you need to get the vaccination, otherwise you lose some of your rights as going to shops, as just going to the movies, to cinema, to the theater. And the government doesn't distinguish if you've had COVID-19, and if you've got antibodies, they only count for 180 days. And if you have antibodies after that, the government doesn't care, you still need to get a vaccination. So yeah, for my personal view, this year hasn't started well in my country, in Austria. Tell me what you think about it. Are you for or against mandates where you have to get vaccinated? How is it in your country? I mean, I believe a lot of my subscribers are from India. So yeah, please tell me how the situation is in India. It would really interest me. I mean, I heard about medical packs that were given out to the population in Uttar Pradesh, in the region of there. And yeah, if anyone knows something about that, I'm really curious about it, and let's just talk about this, how it is in different areas of the world, how the governments are handling the situation worldwide. For me personally, I don't like this development because I think people should choose for themselves if they want to get a vaccination or not. Furthermore, if you need to get 3-4 vaccinations against the same virus 3 or 4 times a year, a lot of people don't want to get 3 or 4 vaccinations. I mean, it would be okay with me if the vaccination would be valid for 10 years. Then I can see where this is coming from, and I can see, like in other diseases where you get a shot and you're vaccinated either the rest of your life or for the next 10 or 15 years. Then I can understand the mandate. But as it is now, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I could say from this standpoint, January hasn't been such a good year, I think, in general for the people in Austria. Also, winter is strong. Winter is hard. -2 degrees today. And snow, wind, coldness, and lack of sunshine, it drags you down if it goes over months and months and months. I mean, I don't want to imagine how the people in Nordic countries feel in Norway or Sweden, where you don't have any sun for a couple of months, if I'm correct, where it's dark all the time. It must be very depressing. Yeah, so tell me, if anyone's from India, tell me how is the government handling the situation with COVID, with Corona, and how is that affecting your mental health? How has this pandemic, if you want to call it a pandemic, how has it influenced you mental health wise? Have you noticed a difference in your life? Have you had to make changes in your life? How is it affecting you, or don't you really care? Can't you really see a difference? How is it for students, or if you're going to your work, do you have to wear a mask all the time? Yeah, just tell me in the comments. I mean, I think a lot of people have been affected mentally by these lockdowns and things, especially people with no families or people who live on their own. I'm sure a lot of them have become very lonely in the last 2 years, because you cannot as easily meet up with your friends or family every day and talk to people, of course, only on the phone. But otherwise, it's important for humans to have interactions, and not only on the screen or on the phone, but to actually sit with a person, talk to them, have coffee, have a tea, and discuss how you're feeling, discuss what happened in your day. I think this is very important for a lot of us. And I also think that a lot of people don't have friends or family members with whom they can discuss what really is going on inside them, what really is on their mind, and what their real problems are at the moment. And that's why I think more and more people need to seek mental health professionals, because they don't have someone to talk to. So they like talking to their mental health professional because they don't feel judged, because that person doesn't know them and he can't tell someone else. They can't chit chat and start gossiping about your problems. So a lot of people rather speak to strangers because it makes them feel safer. But I think oftentimes people underestimate what your friends and family would do for you, and how much they will listen to you and understand how you're feeling at the moment. So don't be ashamed. Just start opening up to people if you want to talk about what bugs you in your life. I mean, all of us we have something which we're not happy about. And for me, it is important to talk with friends, to talk with family about what is bothering me or what I am happy about at the moment. I mean, for me, that is something that defines us as humans. Sharing our thoughts, sharing our sad moments, our happy moments, in person with other people. That's what makes us human, and we should never neglect that. So yeah, wherever you are, whoever you are, get out of your shell, express yourself. Don't be afraid to get laughed at. Don't be afraid to open up about your own emotions. Just be real, express yourself. Tell us what is going on in your world at the moment. So do me a favor, write in the comments what is bothering you at the moment, what you're not happy about, or what you are happy about at the moment. And share it with the Stay Blessed podcast community. This is a safe space here. If anyone teases you or mocks you in the comments, let me know and I will delete the comments, because this is a safe space here at the Stay Blessed podcast. We can talk about everything and anything, and feel part of the community. Wherever you are, whoever you are. And so communicating, talking, it's so important for mental health, for a good mental quality of life, to have this chance to open up and to talk with people. Excuse me, just had a sip of iced tea, white tea blueberry. It's a bit sweet, but it's quite good actually. It's got 5.7 grams of sugar in a 100 milliliter bottle. So 500 milliliters, it's about 30 grams, not even 30 grams of sugar. It's not optimal, but Coke has, I think, twice as much. Orange juice has 12 grams of sugar, I think. So always watch your sugar, people. Sugar is, I think in a lot of countries where people usually have traditional diets, sugar wreaks havoc on the system and on the people. You could see it in for instance, communities in New Zealand, Maori communities, or in Fiji, the Southern Islanders. They are naturally physical, strong people. They've been living on fresh seafood and vegetables for centuries, and when the sugar came from the British and the Europeans, when they introduced sugar, these people they blew up like nothing. They become really, really overweight, because whereas, let's say, if you're from the Mediterranean area, maybe your body is better accustomed to sugar, which is never optimal for no one. But maybe your body's better accustomed to it. So you see the people that aren't accustomed to sugar, those traditions that are the farthest away from our Greco-Roman, Egyptian society, which paved the way to the modern Western society, let's say. The people who are the farthest away from that, they react the baddest when they consume too much sugar. So also, tell me, where are you from? Is sugar a big problem? Diabetes, is this a big problem in your community? In your maybe yourself have type 1 or 2, type 2 diabetes. Maybe family members have diabetes. So yeah, definitely let me know. But anyway, tea is a good drink. I like tea. I think in India you guys drink tea all the time. You're the home country of tea. But do you drink iced tea as well? Because I think in India people only drink hot beverages, which is weird because India is such a hot place. It's a hot country. But maybe it's a health thing. Maybe it's a health thing because you need hot drinks to kill bacteria or something. I don't know. I'm ignorant. So just let me know. Tell me if I'm wrong or not. So yeah, it's a new year, 2022. Mental health. Make sure you give yourself a promise that you acknowledge if you have problems, mental problems, and that you will address them. And if you're afraid to address them with someone else, at least address them with yourself. At least look in the mirror in the morning and say to yourself, speak it out loudly and say, hey, how are you? Do you have any problems? And then try to define the problem. What is really the problem? What is the problem within the problem that really bugs you? And you will see, sometimes you will come up with an answer yourself. But don't ignore it. Talk to yourself about it. And then I think it is easier to talk to other people about it. About your fears. And oftentimes, if you have these feelings of fear inside of you, and you talk to yourself about them, and then you talk to other people about them, you will realize how small these fears actually are. What kind of minor part they play in your life. How, not meaningless, but how small they are compared to the rest of your life. And then you will realize that it was a waste of time worrying so much. But if you worry about something, confront yourself about what you are worrying about. And as I said, open up to other people. Nobody's perfect. No one expects you to be a superhero or to be just a tooth in the wheel and be a perfect societal being. I mean, we humans have emotions, we have feelings, and they can be positive and negative, and you need to address that. So I think in the last podcast we talked about what we want to achieve in this new year. What goals do you have? I mean, besides becoming a happy person, or not becoming, but being a happy person, just being happy. Being happy doesn't mean that you don't have any problems. Being happy means that you're happy despite your problems, because a life without problems doesn't exist. You will always have problems. You can have perfect health, $100 million on the bank. You will still have problems. Your wife will still have fights with your mother. Do you know what I mean? You will always have problems. You will still have to go to the dentist and be afraid of the dentist. You will always have problems. So embrace these problems. And it is not what problems we have. The trick is don't become a worse person just because of your problems, because you're desperate. How you react to those problems is the key to your happiness. And so a real happy person, no matter what problems they have in their inner core, inner being, they will always be happy. So happiness isn't something you can find. It is something you can be. It isn't something you can achieve, like going to the gym and trying to get a good body. And you say, maybe if I go to the gym 3 times a week for about 4 months, and I watch my diet, and I go running, and I go to sleep, I get 8 hours of sleep every day, then maybe in 4 months I will achieve this great beach body. But that doesn't work with happiness. You cannot make a fitness plan for happiness. You can wake up today and say, I'm going to be happy. Do it old school. Put that pencil in your mouth so it creates an artificial smile, and keep that inside for 5 minutes. Then when you take it out, you will feel a difference. You will feel because you've been smiling or grinning for 5 minutes straight, you will actually feel uplifted. And also the smile that you have, it pulls up the muscles. It pulls hundreds of muscles. They pull up your face. They elevate your face, your head, your neck. So your whole posture becomes different. And all the muscles, all the blood vessels, they all point upwards. And you get uplifted and you stay happy. So old school tricks often help, because you have to remember, these old school tricks didn't just come about out of nowhere. They came about people having these experiences and trying passing them on in the most easiest way. And we shouldn't neglect old school tricks, no matter what subject. We shouldn't neglect them, because modern advice in 30-40 years, that will be old school advice. And when you say 30, now we laugh about advice that has been passed on for the last 200 or 300 years. People in 40 years will laugh about advice that professional people in all fields are giving us now. So all these things shouldn't be neglected, and shouldn't be ridiculed or laughed at, because every old school advice once was top medical or professional advice at some point, whether it was 3,000 years ago or 30 years ago. So yeah, there's no fitness plan for happiness. You can't say, because let's say for instance you have this plan to get a good body, and you work out and you diet and you're halfway there, and then suddenly you pull a muscle and you cannot work out for 2 months, and you get lazy and you don't care about your diet and you eat what you want. But you see, and your fitness plan will take longer. But there's no such thing for happiness, because if you make a plan for happiness, there will always be circumstances that will arrive, and they will push your goal further and further away. They will push your goal of happiness further away. So basically, the only way to happiness is right now. Click. Now I'm happy. But who wants to be happy all the time? Don't you want to be annoyed sometimes? Don't you want to have fights sometimes with people? It makes you feel good. For instance, I like having arguments with people sometimes. I like to be in a bad mood sometimes, because it makes me feel better when the bad mood is gone. How can there be happiness if there is no bad mood? How can there be sunshine if it's never dark? Sunshine would be meaningless, or light would be meaningless if darkness wouldn't exist. And you don't want to walk around life with a huge grin all of the time. I mean, who does that? But maybe happiness could be described as not letting yourself being put down all the time. Or it's how you react, man, to the world, man or woman. I mean, what the world gives spills upon you all the time, 24 hours a day. I mean, you shouldn't live that way. As I said before, you should live the other way around, from the inside to the outside. So let's say you're having a shitty day and people are nagging you, shouting at you, fighting with you, and all that dripples down into your head and your mind and your soul, and it changes you, and at the end of the day you're just, bah, what a stupid day. But that's because you lived the wrong way around. You let the outside dictate your inside. But it should be the other way around. Your inside should dictate the outside. So living from the inside to the outside, not the other way around. That is vital, I think, in happiness in general. So yeah, 2022. What goals do you have? Do you want to have a better physique, better body, staying healthy, being healthy, becoming healthy? I mean, it doesn't take much, just a couple of tweaks here and there, and you'll be a new person. So write me in the comments, what do you want to improve on? Maybe learn a new language, a new skill, no matter your age. It is never too early to learn, and it is never too late to start learning. So do me a favor, you, whoever you are, listening right now, take one skill, take one accomplishment, one achievement that you want to achieve this year. It doesn't have to be something major. It can be something really, really small, but you have to get used to the feeling of accomplishment, getting used to the achievement, the feeling of achieving something, these small victories in life, because they will change your attitude. It's like a sports team. No sports team will ever win the highest competition straight away. They start winning the small competitions, the small tournaments. And then this mentality that these sports teams then have, they become ingrained in their DNA. And they start to become real fighters and real winners. And that should be the same with you in your life. Take one small thing you want to achieve this year and try and achieve it. Like I said, nothing major. You don't have to become fluent in a language, nothing like that. Just something small, and just try to achieve it. Just give yourself 10 minutes every day or an hour a week to create something or learn something or become someone. And do me this favor. Just promise me you will have a small achievement by the end of this year. And you will see that your whole DNA will change, because this feeling of accomplishment will give you so much. And then you can more easily set your sights on higher goals and bigger stuff. Because we only live once. And if you just waste your life away being lazy or doing nothing or thinking nothing, then you had all the opportunities. We all have all the opportunities, most of us. So yeah, I'll wrap it up for today. This was the Stay Blessed podcast number 7. Thank you everyone for watching, for listening, and talk to you soon. Stay blessed.